Hi, and welcome. Today I have a very, very interesting musician with me today, and her name is Ana Crismán and Arpa Honda, and very interesting because a very different way of playing flamenco. In fact, well, no, in fact, it's a very flamenco way of playing flamenco, but on a very different instrument. And so today, Ana Crismán is joining me here, who plays the flamenco harp. Welcome, Ana. Thank
Hi,
you.
how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for speaking to us in English. And it's strange sometimes for me to speak in English to a Spaniard when I normally speak in Spanish to a Spaniard too. But anyways, I want to ask you just a few questions, really, about your life as a harpist, flamenco harpist, and. The first obvious question, I suppose, would be how did you come across the harp and how did you begin? I mean, it's something because you're the first person ever in the history of flamenco to take up the flamenco harp. How did you have the idea of maybe crazy idea of playing the flamenco harp?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me
My pleasure.
to have an interview with you. I'm very happy to share music, a conversation with you and with all of you.
Thank you.
Um, I was in holidays in Ireland, and I
Oh,
was a man playing in the streets. So that's that's it. Uh, I
simple.
fell in love with harp, and I thought it was a flamenco instrument, and I thought that it would be beautiful to join the flamenco and with harp. Why not? And we're
Absolutely.
here.
Well, absolutely. And the interesting thing again about you is that not only did you see and find the harp as being exciting, but you are from Jerez, I think. Is that correct?
Hmm.
And
Yes, right.
and Jerez, of course, is one of the main centers of flamenco and history of flamenco. So you have an upbringing of flamenco tradition in your veins. You've lived and were brought up with flamenco, I presume. Yes.
Um, yes, really, I'm from Jerez, and I born in in a very neighbor flamenco neighbor, and the flamenco is way of living. It's no well, now I study flamenco, of course, because if you say flamenco, it's like if you say Europe. It's very
Yes.
extensive music. So you need to study for knowing well this style of music. But in my case, flamenco is I live. I have lived the flamenco from my childhood.
Yes, yes, yeah. And
It's
of course,
yeah,
sorry,
it's
yeah. Of course, that's what I say to when I teach. I also teach guitar, of course, and flamenco guitar. And I say to people here or from outside of Spain or outside of Andalusia or outside of the flamenco world, I say that you have to learn the rhythm before you can even start. And of course, I say to them, it's like for Western Europe or Western world, it's like learning rock and roll. They know how 1, 2, 3, 4 is, but for us flamenco, it's a different rhythm. But it's automatic for us, and you have that, which is very lucky from your childhood, from your birth. And so when you
mm,
come to play an instrument, well, it's still, of course, very difficult, but at least you have that tradition, you have that inspiration, and of course, you're lucky to live in Jerez as well, a beautiful place. But how, for example, did you have, as I said before, the crazy idea of developing the harp, the technique even? How did you think I'm going to take this beautiful instrument and I'm going to just play because it doesn't exist. So you have to create everything for yourself. I mean,
mhm.
without going into too much detail at all about the technique, but tell us kind of how you would think about adapting to flamenco, the harp. I mean, would you look at a guitarist and do, I don't know, what? To give us a general idea of what you thought and did at the beginning.
Well, the thing was that I need to create beauty.
Mhm.
I thought it was a fantastic instrument. I was pianist before.
Okay,
I was in conservatory with piano from 4 years old,
right.
I finished my studies of piano,
Yeah.
but so I have fingers with training.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you have a whole formation, as they say, formación of music and piano. Did you play concert piano as well? Yeah.
Yeah, classical music.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was one point for starting this way. Also, the flamenco it was music inside of me.
Yeah.
So I thought I was looking for someone who did something yet.
Yeah.
I was looking for in internet or asking people CD or something like, and I couldn't find anything.
Yes.
Because I want to copy of other person. I want to copy
Yeah.
to someone, but nobody did anything in this. So I thought it could be very beautiful to
We,
to to find a new way to express flamenco.
I think that's very
So
special. I think what you've done, and that's why we are here, is because I think what you have done is very special, and it's very important. It's very easy, for example, to take any instrument and say you play flamenco, but really it's not. It could be called fusion, or some people take an instrument and they try and play flamenco and it doesn't sound flamenco. You have done something different. You've taken an instrument and made it flamenco, because you are the flamenca. In that sense, you are a flamenco person.
because if one person is singing flamenco, in my head, I can listen inside me the answer of the guitar.
Okay.
So I look for in the harp these sounds.
Yes, I see.
The sound, this sounds flamenco guitar. I can listen flamenco guitar when I'm listening a gypsy singer or
Yeah.
flamenco singer. So the question is to find these sounds in the harp. And I wasn't sure if the harp could have the possibilities of this, because I didn't know the mechanisms, the levers. I don't know if it was going to be possible.
Yes.
But for my surprise, it was.
Yeah.
It has the notes and it's possible. You need to go up and down with levers because there is every string have two sounds, but you can move while you are playing, and you are finding all the time these different notes
Yes.
for accompanying the singer or to play a falseta.
So, yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. Absolutely. I know it's possible because I've seen you do it. So that's perfect. It's not possible for me, but it's possible for you. So actually, being a pioneer of the flamenco harp, because you are the first person, as we say, but as we know, how do you see? I mean, it's a difficult question, but how do you see the harp, the flamenco harp, arpa honda? How do you see it progressing or moving forward? I mean, I know it's a difficult question because you are the only person who does it, but can you see even if you can't play what you see in your mind, can you see how you want to develop it, or you're not yet sure? You're finding it, well, not finding your way. You found your way, but you're still developing it more and more, and you want to take it in one direction or another. Have you got a kind of in your head? Have you got a project of what you want to do, a plan to what you want to do with the harp?
Well, I'm studying. Right now it's my living.
Yes, of course.
Previous of this, I was a music teacher, and I stopped with this activity because I don't have enough time for the harp. So right now, well, with the COVID, is stopped everything, but it's my living right now.
Yes, of course.
So I'm studying the different styles because flamenco, as I said before, is very extensive music. I could find tientos, tangos, alegrías, granaína, malagueña, cantiña, bulería.
There are many palos, many styles to explore. In fact,
Yeah. So I carry on with this, of course, and composing because I like very much Parrilla de Jerez or Moraito, and I started to find these falsetas and this music in the heart. But later I started to compose my own music, and I'm preparing now my CD.
That was the question I was going to ask you after. Yeah, and so when do you have a date or not yet have a date for when this is going to be released?
No, no, actually no. I'm preparing. I'm ready now the Bienal de Flamenco de Sevilla, because this I think it's gonna be the first concert after the COVID. It's going to be the first one after this break.
Yeah.
Ensayos.
Rehearsals, yeah. So we're going to do some rehearsals, to practice. Practice, this? Not this, but this. Yeah. Rehearsals.
I'm now in this. Later, I hope to have enough time to prepare the CD and to carry on with concerts. Actually, I use the method of piano. The method I learned in conservatory for piano, I use for the harp, adapting this. There is a very good method is Hanon. Hanon piano is a method for fingers for piano in piano lessons, and I use this adapted, of course, to the harp. I use this for the harp, adapting, because it don't have sense if you play, for example, your exercise a scale like major scale, like do. It doesn't have sense. It's better if you try, for example, with da na 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 na.
Yeah.
Using
scale. No.
Flamenco Phrygian scale.
Exactly. We call it in English. We call it the Phrygian mode. In fact.
Yeah, Phrygian mode.
Phrygian mode. Yeah. Which is
for example, if you practice your exercise of technique using Phrygian mode, and also using typical answers of flamenco guitar, like training for technical, just for training your fingers, you will be saving time, because you need to practice many things.
Yes.
Melodies, rhythm, fingers, levers.
Yeah.
It's too much, and you need to have a method.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, of course, about you, I find, is not only do you have to do what every musician has to do, which is to practice with a method, to learn and to get to a high level, but also, and that's what I like about you, is that you are creating your own way of playing, in fact, because it's never been done before. So, and that's what I find interesting about you, is that you are unique in not only in the flamenco but in the world, obviously, because you are the world of flamenco. so I find that very beautiful and very exciting, and you know, I can't wait to hear your CD and see the future, how you develop your instrument and your music. So that'll be very exciting. But before, I wanted to ask you, you've played also with many famous flamenco artists, in fact. I saw you play with on a TV program, I think it was, with José Mercé, with Rancapino Hijo, with La Macanita. These are all famous singers in Spain, of course, in flamenco. How was that for you? What did you learn from that experience, if you like? Because again, it's a different thing to be able to play the harp and the voice, but also to have that opportunity, because you are in what they say la cuna del flamenco, in the heart of flamenco. In Jerez, you're lucky. I'm not, but you are lucky to be able to have these people, singers, to play with. So, what have you learned from that, or if anything, or what is the experience like? And is there any experience or any anecdote you can tell us about working with some of the finest artists as well in flamenco, in fact?
Well, I think that for playing with singers, you need to love the flamenco songs, the flamenco sings.
Yeah, the cante flamenco, the singing, the flamenco
See,
chant, if you like. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, thank you.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
you have to like the flamenco chant if you want to play with it,
Hmm.
because you need to know where the direction of the melody.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you need to know the chant. If not, you are totally lost.
Yeah, and that's what makes you, from my point of view, makes you special and interesting. Is because you have all that tradition, and you have it where you live every day. You go out of your house where you are
Mm,
now, and you have flamenco, venga, oh no, and but
mm,
you also have that creative and classical training, as you said before. So you can put everything together and mix it. Well, not mix it, but you know what I mean. And it still becomes a traditional flamenco instrument, which has never been there before. I find it really exciting. I love it. I know you can't play today, which is a shame. Before we go, what I want to tell our listeners or our viewers is where can they find some of your music? So I'll put a link on here for people underneath here somewhere. Where can they find information? And if they're interested, maybe in either in concerts or whatever, where can they contact you?
well, I'm making right now my web.
Hmm.
It could be ready in a few weeks, I think,
Hmm.
I hope. Um, right now, people can find me in my email or in Facebook or YouTube. They can write me if they want to contact, or Instagram also. I have
Okay.
an account there. But really soon we will have my website.
Okay, well, I'll put some links for you underneath here with your Instagram and Facebook, do you have your name for your website? Is it anacrisman.com, or do you know what the name will be? Or
Yeah, it would be arpaflamenca.es.
arpaflamenca dot
Será,
punto es dot es.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
será
Well, I'll put that.
three. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so perfect. So listen, it's a lovely introduction to the flamenco harp. As I say, shame. I know my listeners or our listeners will want to hear you play, but I know it's not possible today. So I will give them some links there. I urge you to go and listen to Ana on YouTube on her channel. It's fabulous music, very very beautiful, and I wish you luck. And it's very kind of exciting, but also for me, probably, well, not for me, but maybe scary too, because you've got a lot of responsibility because you're the first person to do flamenco harp. So I wish you luck, and I will keep listening to you, and hopefully maybe one day even see each other together and maybe even play together. Who knows? But listen, take care. Un abrazo from here, a hug from here, and see you again soon. Yeah, take care.